Hi everyone, welcome to another video on Hoya tips. These are new tips which I have experienced during my growth time with existing, restarted and newly bought Hoyas. First one, if your Hoya, like my Curtis, is throwing off a lot of new leaves or having a nice growth spurt all of a sudden, and it's growing in the shade, these leaves are very new and very dainty. I am growing in cocoa peat, so therefore there's a lot of water held in the media. What I do as a tip is to once in a while put this onto morning sunlight. Remember, only morning sunlight and not hot scorching sun, and I let it dry. What am I drying? I am trying to dry the media, because as much as Hoyas love moisture, when it's too overwhelming and too wet the whole time, especially growing in organic medias, these new leaves can drop off too. So just keep it in the morning sun for an hour or so, and then you can put it back to its place. When I get clumps of new leaves or new vines like this or this, what I do is, in the morning, I go touch that leaf. You can see these are exposed to the sun. So by touching the leaf, I'm trying to see whether it's too hot or whether it's warm to the touch. When that happens, you have to immediately remove them from the direct sun, because if the leaf is getting very hot, which means it's getting too much sun. When vines bunch out leaves like this, make sure to check the underneath of each leaf, because this is the common hiding spot for mealybugs, and they love leaves that are not hardened, so they can do a lot more damage if they're hiding underneath your leaves. If you have a difficult Hoya and it's trying to leaf out, make sure you are removing the plant from getting snagged on to people and other things, so that leaf will be safe and you will see it maturing. Not all the new leaves or vines may mature, some may fall off. That is definitely because of sudden weather changes, or you did not water or fertilize it on time. Hoyas can grow without a top layer of pebbles if there are a lot of leaves on the top, that is covering the surface area, which would enable the plant to hold on the top layer of moisture for a few more minutes. When you repot a Hoya, you might not know from where the new leaf would come or from where the new vine would pop out. But it is really beneficial for the Hoya if you can do a nightly check for slugs or snails, because if they munch on new leaves of very lazy or slow Hoyas, you will have to bear the pain of trying to get them to leaf out again. You can root Hoya cuttings in a mug without a drainage hole. This is in case if we run out of pots. I also did run out of a pot. So in pure coco peat, the bilobatas are growing and they are doing fine. I did not see any leaf losses or diebacks. In fact, I can see small growth spurt right here. But it is very crucial when there is no drainage hole that you dry off the media. What I do is I put that directly on the morning sun. Bilobata is a Hoya that can take the morning sun. So any Hoyas that can take the morning sun, you can let them dry off like this. Or if it rains again and you're growing outside, you can remove this totally from this outside area and keep it somewhere, so you will be able to dry it back up or leave it without getting water. As soon as vines can get a hold of something, they will leaf out. I'm showing you here and here. Okay. And these have not hardened up yet, so there should be a way that the vine can hang on to a trellis or use another plant as its trellis too. Once in a while, check the underneath of leaves. It might surprise you that these are the playgrounds of snails and slugs. You can cut off bare vines like this. But even if you do not cut them off, like in this haniances, they might always leaf out if you leave it. Your Hoya pot might have a lot of algae formation, but if the plant is thriving and throwing off new leaves and vines, please do not repot it. When you are inspecting your Hoya, make sure the points which grow new leaves or vines are not covered by media. They should be exposed to the air and not being covered by media. This happens very often with coco peat when they expand and dry off. So yeah, if you do not see no new growth in your Hoyas and all the others are growing, you can take off any vine that is not serving any purpose. I took off this. That's a very good trigger for an orchid to grow, and I will also take off from here. Sometimes your Hoya has declined, like my Rosita, but there are new leaves. even though it looks overpotted. When there are new growth happening, please do not repot. This is why you have to go around your Hoya and check for new signs of growth. There's a new leaf here and another leaf which has bent. It has not hardened up yet, and if I did not come to this side, I will not see it at all. You can see how light it is and how it would have hardened up, bending into two, if I did not discover this. This is one such occasion where a new vine and a leaf has come out of my Hoya lambii, one leaf repotting. This is a separate cutting over here, which over to that side I would never know that this vine has propped up if I did not come around the rack and looked at what's happening to this Hoya. This new vine of Hoya merrillii is stretching towards the full sun, but I'm keeping this orchid as a shield, so there would be somewhat of shade. Still, I have not tried to move it because the leaves are very mellow and they still have a lot to grow. There's another reason. I have two new leaves over here. They are 3-4 times bigger than the older merrillii leaves I've had. These were the most earliest ones, and due to high heat they did develop only in this shape and this size. But now, because they are exposed to sun from this angle, this came first and then these two. And I've also potted some of the cuttings which I had to throw off, just to create this waterfall look more full. But here there are new leaves also. I'm not going to touch it a lot, but there are new leaves coming out, and when it starts actively growing, you have to watch it and cover it as much as possible, but also let it do its thing. If they are growing big and strong than it used to, I will totally allow this sun exposure to happen. I already have some more sun stressing, but it's fine. It's not harmful because it's not blood red all over the leaf. So I'm letting all these new leaves mature to their fullest potential. When vines twist themselves among each other, they leaf out too. If a leaf is crooked like this, there is definitely or most probably mealybugs underneath it. Those white specks you see or blobs you see are definitely mealybugs. So this is when I manually remove them or just take off that crooked leaf as a whole. See, I just took it off by my hand. Or you can get some hydrogen peroxide onto a piece of gauze and then just run that gauze from underneath that leaf. This way you can grab it and take it out. If you have a stem cropping up from a difficult place, like way beneath this media and way beneath this main stem, how should you release it? What I do when that happens is to take off the media from around that area, enabling it to crop over to that direction towards the light and away from this leaf. So it will have an easier way of coming out of the media, because these chunks are pretty big. Aphids can do this to your new leaves. So be very mindful not to let them overtake your new leaves like this, mostly hiding underneath the leaf. The best way to take off aphids, use a flat gauze, wrap it around and just swipe it up very slowly and very lightly without anything. No water, no pesticide, nothing, just manually.